What's going on? It is your girl, TampaMystic, and we are back with another episode of
Industries Most Wanted.
You already know it's Industries Most Wanted, TampaMystic, and look who I got checking in tonight, Sir Landon in the building. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing today?
Listen, I'm doing good. Thank you so much for being here. We already had a whole beautiful conversation. Definitely. Well, thank you for being here tonight. We're currently live streaming on a couple different platforms, mainly focused on the YouTube, so we can direct everybody to one spot. Before we dive in, because I definitely have a lot of questions for you, give us a brief introduction of Sir Landon, the artist.
So my name is Sir Landin, but my real name is actually Bronze, like copper, gold, bronze. I'm 22. I'm from Chicago. I like to make rap, EDM, and all types of house music. I like to do acting. I like to do modeling. I like to do photography. I'm just like the average guy around. I'm not too like special or anything like that. But I like to master all things sometimes.
You're an all-around dope dude. Don't talk about you ain't a master. You got this, most definitely. And I love you said your real name is Bronze.
Yes.
That is so dope. Who gave you that name? Your mom did?
Yeah, my mom. Yeah, my sister name is Dallas, and she was gonna name me Austin. I'm like, yeah, okay, but whatever. But okay, but yeah.
Shout out to mom, man. What a beautiful job on putting your name. That's so dope. I've never heard anybody with that name before. I love it. So you grew up in Chicago and you're currently in Chicago. Did Chicago at all have influence on you for wanting to do music?
Oh, definitely. Like again, bringing back to my mom. My mom used to play a ton of like traditional house music. I'm talking about like them CDs that you get from like the bootleg man with the permanent mark on them type of house music. All that type of house music. I grew up listening to WGCI in the car 24/7. My sister used to like have me at her like high school parties, tagging me along with her friends, listening to all the music they was listening to. Had no business listening to it, but yeah, Chicago has played a definite role in my music taste, definitely.
I love it. I love it. What would you say is the music scene like right now in Chicago for artists in your realm, per se, with the style of music you're doing?
Um, I think right now we're in this spot now where because of where technology is, where like TikTok and like Instagram and everything is, it's like a lot of artists are trying to go this one direction with like trap music and drill music, and then on the other side you have people who are trying to do their own thing. And because it's so many things happening at once, it's kind of hard for people to like kind of stand out a little bit. I actually say like I always ask the question like Chicago hasn't really had a big mega star since like Kanye, and it's like it's kind of sad to see because so many stars come from so many different places, but Chicago has been feeling a little low lately on that.
So you're here to change the game.
I want to change. I want to change the game. Yeah, I want to change the game.
Y'all clack that.
Right,
I got the next biggest star out of Chicago on
right.
tonight. Okay. No, I love that. First, what is your ethnicity? I love your hair.
Oh, thank you. My mom's African American and my dad is Indian. He's from India. So, and yeah, that's just half black, half Indian. Yeah.
What a beautiful combination. Like you should be a model.
Thank you.
I'm so
Thank you.
serious. Like your parents did a beautiful job. You know what I'm saying? You're still young, you're vibrant, you
Mhm.
got nice hair. Go and get your modeling career popping along with your music.
We're gonna try.
I know that's right. Most definitely. So you've
Mhm.
been doing music professionally for a fairly short time, for about a year
Yeah.
now.
Mhm.
Yet you have your first two singles that are already gaining a lot of traction and support. What do you think connected the most with your listeners, being that it's still early on in your career?
I think right now what it is, it's a visual thing
Mm.
because I actually had a conversation with my sister, who she's my manager, by the way. She was talking to me. She was like, Brian, I like your music, but I feel like, a lot of people can't really connect on a certain level because they don't see you a lot because I'm always just working on music. And I realized when I dropped Rock Your Body, I said, you know what, let me do something different with this song that makes people want to connect to it. And I had saw that Charlie XCX, I don't know, have you ever heard Charlie XCX at
I'm
all?
not familiar.
She is the artist. You know that song, I don't care. I love it. No, 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 I don't. You may not. It's an old song, but she had a really big really big album last year with her Brat album. And I was like, you know what? I want to do something similar with like EDM and house music. So I took the font of her album cover and I turned it into like a lyric video. And I think that's what got people to look at it because, Charlie XCX has fans. I was like, okay. So after that, I didn't think that, when you're a small artist, you don't think that anything is going to like really blow up the way it did. I woke up the next morning, I was like, like, and then when I dropped LA Party Demon, I was like, whoa, okay. Like, okay. So this is the sound that's working for me right here.
That's a great idea because without people realizing it, like you said, you used the font to make a lyric video. People visually recognized it without maybe correlating it back to her because they know they've seen it, and that will draw somebody in. That was a genius idea.
Yeah, it's a psychology thing because people align themselves with what they're familiar with. And then they see this and like, okay, well, who's this person or whatnot? Yeah, I got a lot of support from that song. And I'm the type of person where it's like, I don't need to get into 1,000. I don't need to even get into thing. You give me like 10, 50 views, it's a hit. It's a hit.
No, I feel like you are absolutely right. Too many people chase behind views and numbers. And back in the days, numbers meant something. Today, they don't mean nothing because everybody can buy and pay for them. Let's just be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like we are in an era where back early on, they would say, "Oh, numbers don't lie." Well, they lie now.
They lie now.
So it's like rather than chase behind that, chase your fans.
Right. And I'm glad you brought that up because that was actually something I want to talk to you about was like back in the day when it came to like music. I had a conversation with like one of my family members and I was like, well, how did you guys go about buying music back then and listening to music back then and all that? My cousin, she was like, we had MTV, we was going to the clubs, we was watching BET and going to the record store and all that type of stuff. I was like, that sounds like a lot of work to do back then. So, and you can just see how much times have changed where like you can post something, it could be the greatest song in the world, but because of some algorithm, it's just buried below with everybody else.
That is a fact, and she's absolutely right. That's how back in the day we discovered new music was watching MTV, BET, a lot of radio where a lot of people don't listen to radio quite as much as they used to because everybody's on social media. So it was just very different. But I feel like too, that's why there were so many successful artists that are still sustainable because they were forced to be able to build a real fan base. People had to buy their music where now you spend $10 a month and you stream all the music in the world, right? Versus where back then we were paying $10 to $15 per album,
Yeah, and that's not an easy thing. And back when I dropped my first project, I was studying all of like the artists that I liked, and I said, "Let me stop studying what they're doing now and study what they had to do before they were famous." And I said, the thing about that back then is that you had to bring it, like you had to bring it 100% because labels were not about to fund no bull crap. You were not going out there and making. You had to bring it 100% in order to make it. Like the fact that you have to get someone to come out their house and buy your product, you have to bring it. Nowadays, you can't do it no more.
No, absolutely. You are 1,000% right because back then when we had like big execs in place like LA Reids and etc., they weren't going for no half-ass something. It had to be 110% ready to go. He would be like, "Nope, the mix ain't right. Do it again. Nope, the mix ain't right. Do it again." Like that's the type of time now. Artists will record something on their phone and upload it to DistroKid and call it a day. No mix, no master, and it's like. And then they wonder why people aren't listening to their music. So that's dope that you're being so young that you understand that side of the business because a lot of people don't take the time to learn.
They don't. I think a lot of people want to be in the music industry, but they don't want to be in the industry of music because, like, okay, for example, like I grew up a big. I'm in people are like who are those people? I grew up a '90s fanatic, so like I loved TLC, I loved Aaliyah, I loved Little Kim, I loved okay, I'm forgetting in Vogue and all of them. And one thing I said was that back in the day, you had to dance, you had to sing, you had to be well presented. It's like you had to do all those things, and now it's like if you don't do it, like you can still get away with some of it now, but I think nowadays that's what we're losing is those recipes on how to make a star.
Absolutely, because artist development has pretty much gone away,
Yeah,
and it's like to me is like the most vital thing for a music artist is to go through some form of artist development. You
Mhm.
need to know how to get on these stages and perform. You need to know how to properly record your music. You need to know how to get on and do these interviews and sound like you know what you're talking about. There's so many steps to it that a lot of artists don't do. And then again, they wonder why things aren't moving. And then they start blaming everybody else. Well, it's like, maybe you need to take a look in the mirror, bruh.
Yeah, and this January there is this producer tour that's coming to Chicago, and I said, Bronze, like, because my sister lives in a different she lives in DC, so but until things get popping for us, I have to like manage myself and be like, listen, you got to get out there, you got to get on the stage, you got one chance to impress people, because like I said, people are visually attracted to things. And I think with a lot of artists, they don't want to pay for things. They don't want to go forth with things. They're too afraid to do certain things because they think that it's just going to happen by itself. No, you're the like I had a conversation with actually my sister's friend who worked, he was a Grammy nominated producer. And I told him, I said, indie artists need to understand that you can't wait for your big moment because you are your big moment.
That is a fact. You're right. And like you said, getting on them stages, depending on how many songs you're performing, because oftentimes you only get one song you can perform. That means you got 2 to 3 minutes to make an impression. That is it.
And if you don't, and then you can be like, and it's like, and I hate to say it like this, but it is a dog eat dog world. If you too scared, if you too nervous, it's fine to be nervous, but if you can't get on the stage and present yourself this way, music ain't what you need to be doing.
That is a fact. Absolutely. And something that we were discussing in my last conversation is being able to also take constructive criticism without
Mhm.
getting offended, without cussing people out. Like, a lot of artists, because I get artists all the time that'll want to send me their music, and I'm like, okay, if you're going to send it to me and you want feedback, I'm going to give you my honest feedback, whether you like it or not. And some of them, and I'm never mean. I don't be like, oh, that's whack or that's trash. I'll constructive criticism. I'll tell them maybe their mix needs a little bit work or something like that. You'd be surprised how many of them they've called me names. They get mad because I'm just like, bruh, if that's how you, if you that sensitive, please get out of the business expeditiously. You're not needed here.
Because on the flip side of that, if you want to become this big star, I mean, go into the shade room comment section right now, and like you are going to be crying. And I'm glad you said constructive criticism, because that's something I think artists need to have with themselves. Because there's times where like I'll be recording a song, the first 10 seconds I'm like, yeah, this is garbage, we need to just put that to the side and work on it, and when we ready we'll come back. But I mean, construct what people need to understand is that that's something that's trying to help you along the way. And I can take constructive criticism, like when people are like, I like this, you can change that, and da da da, this, that's helpful because that's trying to make you better. But if you want people to just kiss up and tell you, oh, that's good, yo, yeah, they're setting you up for failure. That's not a real friend.
That is a fact. I even deal with it too. Like, I'll get people that'll, give me ideas, and I'll be honest, back in the day I was like, it's my way or the highway.
Yeah.
I quickly learned that it's not like that. You have to be open to people, giving you their input, and maybe it's not the best idea, but just, try to entertain it a little bit, because you never know, because it could change everything for you. It could change the
Right.
whole dynamic of everything you're doing. So let's talk about your music. You have a current single called Ghostwriter. How many licks? Let's talk
Oh
about
yeah.
it. It's a dope title, first and foremost. What's the story behind the name and the record itself?
So I was in what grade was I in? I was in like high school or whatever it was, but I remember that I was on the bus one time, and for whatever reason the school bus was playing the radio. That song by Little Kim had came on the radio, and I was like, "What is this song?" So I looked it up and everything. I grew up like me. I'm a huge female rap fan, like Foxy, Nicki, Kim, anybody who's dope. I listen to them. So when I heard that song, I'm like, this is like the perfect like rap radio song. And I was like a couple weeks ago, or like, but when my mixtape had came out, I was looking to sample that song, but I have a struggle when it comes to remixing other people's songs, because I always feel like, what does it add to the original? Are people just going to go back and listen to the original in the first place? So I had found a Little Kim type beat on YouTube. I was like, oh, this is perfect. So I just added in what I put into it, and it came about how it did. Um, it's it's a little like I try not to make songs like that very raunchy because like that's not who I really am. But like it's Kim. Like I mean, like how do you not pay homage to Kim without making it like a little weird? But yeah, I liked how it came out a lot. Yeah,
No, absolutely. Yeah, shout out to Lil Kim, man. She's an icon. She's been
yeah.
doing that thing for a very, very, very long time. I also want to talk about your EP, which incorporates your name. It's called The Bronze Age. And
Mhm.
for anybody that may have tuned in and caught this late, that is his real name, Bronze, The Bronze Age. Talk to us why you titled it to that, and like what does it mean to you personally?
So when I first started doing music a year ago, I was on my college campus. I was on my college campus, and at the time, I was going through a really like bad depression. Like I had just lost my aunt, and I was like, I felt like I was like losing myself a little bit because I think what happens in life is that you go so far on with like what just happens to you that you never stop to realize like, wow, I'm 20 something years old and yesterday I was just 10 or whatever. And I realized like when you're a kid, you don't care about anything in the world. When you're a
Right.
kid, you don't worry about paying bills or making it to your job. When you're a kid, you just try to get through school and go home and deal with what you got going on there. So when I made this project, what was different from this one than the first one was that with this one, I just wanted to feel like a kid. That's why I chose that picture of me for the cover of it all, because I wanted to feel like I was doing something that my childhood version would be proud of me for doing. Because I started rapping when I was 11 years old. You know,
Wow.
it always starts somewhere, like the lunch table or the bus rides home or something like that. And with this project, I just wanted to have fun, like just have fun and just to remind people that, you know, it can be your time soon. You know, it's obviously a play on words like Bronze Age and whatever, but it's mostly me saying like, I'm here and this is what I'm here to do. And this is why I'm here to do it.
I love that. Absolutely. And is that already out on all the digital streaming platforms?
It's actually just on YouTube. A couple of the three main singles that I released, like Ghost Rider and LA Party Demon and like Rock Your Body, those are on platforms. But because there's like, you know, there's some already existing songs that I like rapped over, you know how copyright and things like that go. I'm like, you know what? We just gonna put it on YouTube.
Okay, cool. Because I was looking for it on Apple Music earlier and I couldn't. So
Yeah.
now, so while we're right there, what is your YouTube channel listed under? Is it Sir Landon so
Yep.
people can subscribe? Okay.
Mhm.
So they can go there and listen to the project.
Yeah, yes, definitely. Go listen to it. Go stream everything. Actually, when I dropped the project, you know what was funny? Like when I had dropped it, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have all these videos lined up. I'm gonna have all this lined up. I'm like, we just gonna hit upload and relax like and try to dive enough into that.
Any challenges that you faced, releasing a project independently?
Um, I think it's more so a mental challenge because when you're an independent artist, you have to do everything by yourself. Like you have to lease beats by yourself, you gotta promote yourself by yourself, you gotta fund everything by yourself. But that and to me, money is never an issue because I mean I don't own a house or anything like that. So it's like where's the money going? But it's the struggle of sacrificing everything that they say you're supposed to be doing in your 20s. Like you're supposed to be living the dream. You're supposed to be having fun and doing relationships and being in school. But I tell people like that stuff can wait. Like I gotta get it. However, I gotta go get it. I'm gonna get it how I gotta like I have to. So that's the only struggle is just watching people live their life while you are in your room for a whole year working on a project.
I had seen on Instagram, and I can't remember who said it, but it was somebody very famous, a celebrity, and they said if you're not willing to sacrifice at least a year of your life and put everything else on hold to focus on your goals, then you don't want it bad enough. That
Yeah.
means not going out spending money in the clubs. That means not buying weed. That means not buying all the extracurriculars that you really don't need to survive. Like focus on the essentials that you need to survive and then put everything else into your career.
Yeah, and then on the other side of that, you have artists like who they try to like weave it in through other like things like, oh, I'm gonna go perform at the party and this and that and third. But it's like, yeah, that's cool and all, but what really is your end goal? Because I see people. You know what? You know what? Here's a little story. When I was 10 years old, I went to my first ever DJ class, and at that age, I didn't really understand like what the severity of what these people's lives were at the time. Like they were here because they wanted this, and this was like before TikTok and before Instagram Reels and all that stuff. So these were real people there who needed to be there,
Yeah.
and you just wonder like, where are they now? Did their dreams ever come true? What happened to them in their dreams? You know, it's really a sad thing when you start seeing like some of my peers that I went to school with, a lot of them make music too, but I noticed that some of them haven't dropped a song in a year because
Right.
they have kids now, and some of them have, you know, they stop doing what they're doing so that they can, you know, fool around the street, and it's like, you know, that's their life and that's fine, but it's like you got to understand like there's a price you pay for chilling, and there's a price you pay for turning up every other weekend.
That is a fact. You are absolutely right. You have to pick and choose, like how
Yeah,
bad do you want it? Because something that I say often, I encounter a lot of artists and I'll say they don't really want it. They
they
don't
don't
really,
really want it.
they don't because they're not putting their everything into it. They got enough money to buy that weed every week. They got enough money to go to the strip clubs every week. But
Yeah,
when it comes to investing in their music, they're like, oh, I'm gonna have to get back to you. Then you don't want it.
you don't want it. Like just now, I had to spend like $100 something for like new equipment, but I said, hey, I mean, what you want to do? Like, you know,
That is a fact. And I commend you for that, especially because you're still young, because you got a good head on your shoulders.
thank you.
Definitely. So I got to ask you this question. I've been asking a lot of artists this question. I'm always curious to know their feedback. So with an artist like yourself, you take this very seriously. You invest in your craft. You, like you said, you just had to spend some money on equipment. You put your heart and your soul into this, and you've been doing it for a little while now. How do you feel about these AI artists that are just coming out and immediately hitting the charts?
I think that because, and see, this is why they say the music industry is kind of dead, because I think here's the thing, because I saw the whole situation with like the R&B singer. I forgot her name, but I know Timberland had just got like a lot of backlash for like
Zanaya Monet.
yeah. How I feel about that is that I understand that, you know, we're in a time where like when they say robots are taking over, yeah, that's going to happen sooner or later. But I think that when you give, I feel like, okay, because I use Chat GPT when I need to, I use Google AI when I need to, but I feel like if you want that dream, if that's what you want to do, then you need to do it yourself. You don't get to cut the line in front of everybody else because it's a sense of control. You know, a lot of labels don't want to invest money into artists because nowadays an artist could be here today and gone in 2 weeks. And that viral song they had on TikTok, bye. Like, you know, it's just what it is. I think with AI artists, it's just a waste of time because no, like the only good thing about like society is that society know what's real and they know what's fake. So when it all boils down to it, they're not going to entertain it as much as they would a Beyonce or you know, a Rihanna. Like they're not going to give that you can't AI experiences.
Right, we can't go watch them in concert. What are they going to have a hologram up there? Like, and just be honest, coming from my perspective, someone who's been in radio and podcasting for many, many years, I'm like, no shade, but I couldn't see myself riding around listening to an AI artist because I want that human element. I want to know the emotion that they put into this record that they created. And like you said, and now there's like three different genres that are charting. We got gospel, we got country, and we got R&B, all AI artists that are charting. And it's almost like a slap in the face to the real human beings out here like yourself, who's been doing this a long time and you're investing in yourself. And it's like, how do you compete with that? It's insane to me.
I think that's when the integrity conversation comes in because like because see here's like a playoff a piggyback on that. Like people are trying to say, well, if AI is bad, what about artists who don't write their own music? I don't like that either. Now I understand that, you know, that's different in a way because the talent is within the voice. You know, the talent is within how you execute the lyrics and vocal arrangements. I understand that, but like I'm a person where it's like, if it ain't real, if it's not from your soul, if it's not from your heart, if you didn't write it, you can keep it. I'm pretty sure somebody else like it. That's good. But me,
Absolutely. And one more thing on that, we're going to move on because this ain't about the mayor. It's about you right now. But
mm,
my thing is too, is ownership. Like, how
mm.
does ownership even come into that? Because you technically, if you didn't write them lyrics, if ChatGPT wrote them lyrics, then you have Soro or Sona or whatever that program is sing it for you. It's like, can you even own it? So I don't know. It's just a whole crazy sticky situation. But I feel like right now we're in a period of change in this music industry.
Mhm.
What advantages and disadvantages do you feel like your artists like yourself face? Do you feel like there's advantages and disadvantages to with all the change that is going on right now?
Absolutely. And you know, I was prepping myself like how I was gonna like how do I want to execute this answer. There is an artist that I love. Her name is Cupcake. I know people may have heard of her. You know, I don't know. She's very raunchy in her music, but she is one of those artists where she's independent. She owns all her music,
Mm.
even though she doesn't have a Billboard hit, even though she doesn't have a VMA or a BET award. The fact that she can get up and go make her money on a tour, the fact that she can get up and control whether or not she wants to get in the studio or not, that's something that a lot of signed artists still wish they had, you know. And I say there's advantages and there's disadvantages because it's what you, again, it's what you sacrifice, you know. If you're indie artists, you may never see a stage on television, you may never see a Met Gala invitation or all those luxuries in the industry, but at the same time you don't really have to worry about, you know, are people going to come to your arena sold out tour and what the shade room's going to say about you and all this. But I think with being an independent artist, the main factor you have to keep in mind is your own survival, because we're in a time where people in the industry don't even know how they're going to make it. Like they don't even know how they're going to be here anymore. And that's sad that, you know, you have people who spent almost 10 years of their life, 5 years of their life getting into the industry. And then now we're at this point in time where they don't know what they're going to do in the next 10 years.
People are really struggling out here. Even outside the industry, you know, and especially in this industry because it's a very expensive business and everything has a price tag on it.
Mm-hmm.
Getting on them billboards, getting a Grammy, that is not free. There's a price that comes along with all of that. And
All of
people
it.
realize that everything cost.
Everything costs. And then, you know, aside from just that, I tell people all the time, you know who said this? Who was it? I don't know if it was Lizzo who had said this, but Grammys don't pay bills. Grammys don't pay bills. They bring the price on your, you know, on your resume, and it's a great thing to have, but at the end of the day, it's about how are you going to survive, because that's honestly where hip hop was founded off of. How do these young people from these poor neighborhoods survive? How do they get out of what they're in? And now we're in a time where you can just payola your way to the top and all that, but it's not real. It's all fake. I tell people all the time, don't feel bad that you didn't make it. Feel bad if you didn't try to make it.
Absolutely. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors out here. A whole lot. Like a lot of what we see is fugazi because people try to make everything glamorized and behind closed door, they may be miserable in their life. They may be
Yeah.
have a negative bank account. So it's like, don't ever compare yourself to these people because like they say, comparison is a thief of joy. And you'll get real disappointed if you find out what really goes on in their life.
Yeah, and on the other, and again, it's like when you are comparing yourself to these, I think with a lot of artists too, it's like they want to pick one sector of what they want to be. Like some of them want to look the part, some of them want to sound the part, some of them want to, you know, dress the part. But at the end of the day, those millionaires in the music industry, guess what? All that money is going back to that label deal. All that money is going back to that mansion that they bought and all them chains that they bought. That stuff, that money gets spent. So if you are comparing yourself to artists who have made it, and if you're comparing yourself to people, that's not for you, because your story is your story and your journey is your own journey.
All of our journey is different. We cannot compare it because what may take you only 6 months, it might take me 6 years, and that's
Mhm.
okay. That is okay. 100%. So outside of music, you're also involved in acting, modeling. Like I said, you got the whole model look going on, photography. How do those creative outlets influence your music?
So it kind of transformed slowly. When I was in high school, that's when I got into photography, and I wasn't a professional though. I just had my phone and I had the city. So anything I walked past, I took a picture of it, like spiced it up to look normal, and people were like, "Whoa, how did you do that?" I was like, because I try to see concepts through things. Like I try to cut like what does a story tell about a city like Chicago? How many people have sat on this one side of the street waiting for the bus? I try to get it there. When I was in high school, it went from photography to me being content creator. And I was a gamer and like a YouTube creator for a while, but I got really bored with that because I said, I don't see myself doing this for the rest of my life. And even with content, the same as music, these are things that are not, you are responsible for this lasting as long as you do. There's no retirement plan for a content creator. There's no retirement plan for an artist who is in the making. So you have to really ask yourself, like, what's going to matter in 5 years?
Man, that is such a valid point. And again, that's something I talk about often. I'm like, when you get into this, there is no retirement plan. You have to figure out ways to invest, maybe get yourself a Roth IRA, and that might go above some people's head. But like if you have a traditional 9 to 5, most of them are going to offer like 401ks that you can get involved with. Maybe, I don't even know if pension plans are a thing anymore. Back in the day, people got pensions when they would retire from a company. But when you're independent, none of that is in place. It's like, okay, maybe the money's rolling in now, but you got to start investing because you don't want to have to work beyond your retirement years. You don't want to be 85 and still having to work at Walmart because you can't retire yet. That's not quality of life.
Right. And on top of that, even with like artists, again, they want to be in the music industry, but not the industry of music. It's not a paperwork and verbiage that you have to get right. Like your LLC, your company, like if you are you even a business? Like I know Azalea Banks, she's not everyone's cup of tea, but she has her own touring company that she makes money off of. And it's those type of moves that you have to make early on so that the rest of your life can be easier. And that, like, even when I lease a beat, I'm like, okay, this is something that's going to matter a while from now. So we can't just be leasing beats and losing our mind because a lot of artists just have it in their head, I just got to get a song out. This is a product that you're trying to sell that's going to come with paperwork behind it. So you got to be on top of it.
Listen, that is a big step. A big step that a lot of artists skip is learning the business and getting their paperwork together because oftentimes they're leaving a lot of money on the table. There's money made if they get their business together, and they have that ownership. It's very expensive, like even with what I do, I have an actual studio. Okay, so it's funny because I just texted my business partner earlier and reminded him that our business insurance is coming due next month because top of the year, you got to pay that business insurance, which is very expensive. Then, of course, you got to have your business license, occupational license, got to keep the lights on, got to keep the Wi-Fi. It's very expensive to run a business. As an artist, it's no different. Having all your paperwork together, registering all your music, and each time you drop a song, the first thing you should be doing is uploading it with your ASCAP, your BMI. Go ahead and register it with Sound Exchange. That way it's done and out the way, and you ain't got to go back and backtrack on it.
Mm-hmm.
Super, super, super important. Most definitely. So where you're at right now with music, if you had to define what success looks like for Sir Landon right now, what would it be?
I would say it would look like permanent change. Like, I think that it would be me not having to go back to work. It would be me making sure that my mom and my sister are okay. It would be that I've never been a person like who has to floss success across people. Like, I've never been into like designer clothes and like in big chains. I'm more so into making sure that my family is okay. Like, that's what success looks to me, making sure that my family is okay. And I think that 5 years from now, maybe 6, maybe 7, I don't care how long it's going to take, I got to get to that point. And then my mom is turning, I think, like 55 this year. My mom been working for 30 years. It's time that she stopped. My sister is working 2 jobs in DC, and it's like I see her like working, so I'm like, nah, I can't. It can't go happen like this. So that's what success means to me. It's just making sure that my family is okay.
That is so amazing. I love that answer because you're absolutely right. It should start there first and then work out from there, like making sure you're good, making sure your family's good. And, I feel like even if the entire world doesn't necessarily learn who you are, but the fact that you're able to survive and take care of your family off of what you love, that is definitely success right there. It's not about how many Instagram followers you have or how many TikTok followers you have. It's about being able to take care of the people that you love.
Yeah, most definitely.
Absolutely. So, what is one goal that you set already for 2026 that we can hold you accountable for?
Performing. That is, yeah, that's the ultimate goal because the event takes place in January. So that's
Mm.
the first kickoff of the year. My second goal would probably be getting more visual forms of media out, like music videos and stuff that's gonna, like, again, matter, because I think it's almost like this. Like, if a pizza company wants to make pizza, they can, but if you're not advertising yourself, if you're not doing videos, if you're not taking pictures, it's like you're just making pizza. So it's like I wanted to build my foundation with my skill first, and I'm still doing it because I'm not there 100%. But that was the first thing I wanted to do. Was like, okay, we're gonna work on this. We're gonna put some music out. We're gonna work on it so that when people come, they'll be like, okay, what else do you have? That's my goal for this year, though, is to start getting out there more.
So, what performance do you have in January?
So it's at the Cymatics producer tour. They are, I believe they're a group for like independent artists. They
Okay,
have
that's
this.
the one you were talking about earlier. Okay.
Right, and they invite like A&Rs from labels, they invite execs from labels, they invite all different type of professional graphic designers. It's basically like a networking event for like professionals, like graphic designers, PR people, managers who are looking for new clients. But they hold this space for creatives to get up and perform, and if I'm not mistaken, the limit is like 500 to 600 people in the building.
Hmm.
So it's like, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, you got one chance to impress six. I've performed in front of, like, when you're like kid wise. Like, my aunt used to host like fashion shows that she would have me perform at, or like the school play, or like, the acting in my college I would have to do. Like, I performed, and it's always a nerve wracking thing. But again, like, if this is what you really want, you gotta suck it up and just give it your all, and hope you can just jazz the crowd.
Absolutely. When was your last performance?
My last performance of anything was when I did a Viola Davis piece for my acting final in my first year of college. And I think I got like second place because they said I did the best on it. I was like, wow, I wish Viola Davis could see that. But yeah, that was the last time I ever performed in front of anybody.
So, for the performance coming up in January, have you been practicing?
Most definitely in the bathroom. In the bathroom. I'm
That's your
not, yeah, with like my hairbrush in the mirror like
yeah.
this. I'm not sure if I want to perform anything off of this project, or if I want to do something new, because I'm in the process of working on newer music, and I'm wondering, like, should I just do something fresh that people are gonna like, or should I just do something that I have old? But I'm not the type of person where I look back too much, so it's like, once it was there and it's done, we gotta move on to something else. And see me, I think that I really think I just want to do something fresh. But
Yeah.
it's definitely like a house EDM track but I think I do a good job at doing like house EDM, but still keeping it rap or whatnot. But yeah.
So, you're open to bending genres per se.
Mhm.
I love that.
Yeah, I grew up in the music era of like the 2010s. So like, I grew up on Flo Rida and David Guetta and like Justin Bieber, back when that whole sound was like that whole sound back in the day. I grew up on Young Money. I grew up on Kesha and Taylor Swift. That was my life back then. So it's like, one thing I noticed about all those people were that they didn't sit in one sound, because I mean you can't do that. I think a real creative is open to doing anything. I might make a country song one day, who knows? But you got to.
Listen, I agree. We're gonna see you line dancing.
Right. And you don't know. I might put some cowboy boots on the stage. You never
That's
know.
right. Who would be an ideal collaboration for you right now?
Oh my God. If I had to collaborate with any artist at all, it would be with like either Cupcake or Doja Cat. Like, those are like my two favorite. I would love to collaborate with Nicki Minaj one day, but I know like that's probably something that would happen like, hey, you never know. But I would love that too. But I love Doja Cat. I love all artists. I'm actually open to collaborating with anybody who's actually interested, because I think that's a great way to build yourself up as an artist.
Yeah.
Because that's another way of the business, is collaborating with other independent artists and collaborating with um other people trying to make it with you. I think it's better to build together than just be all separated and no one knows each other. And
Exactly, especially if they're in a different market. Now it puts you in front of a whole new market that you may not have ever touched before.
yeah, definitely. And I think that with rap nowadays, even with just genre bending, it's like you have like male rappers and then you have like female rappers, but there's like no one that's in between that can spit really hard and perform for the street, and then on the other side can deliver these classic hit records that last on through the test of time. And I think there has to be that in between. I think Little Nas X was in that in between for a while,
Yeah.
but like things happen with people and they have their own personal issues. But I think that's where I want to be in the music industry. I want to be that person who brings in that new genre. I know people don't really care for Kanye West anymore and whatnot, but when Kanye West first came out, he was doing something that rappers weren't doing. He had sounds that rappers weren't doing, and that's what made people like gravitate towards him so much. I think that's where I'm meant to be in the music industry.
I feel like Kanye West is a prime perfect example. I think that, and this is just my opinion, but I feel like a lot of people don't like him because he's so unapologetically himself. And
Mhm.
people struggle with that because there's a lot of people pleasers out here. People want everyone to like them. And Kanye has, or Ye has adopted the attitude of, I don't give a damn if you like me or not. And a lot of people don't like that. And I kind of feel that way because I'm like, now as I get a little older, I'm at a season in my life where I'm like, either you like me or don't. I don't care. Like if you
Right.
don't like me, that's a you problem.
Right. Everyone's not going to like you or the way you talk or the way you look. And I told people, I said, that's something I was getting insulted when I was a kid. I said, that's how I know I could survive the industry, because I was getting lied on as a kid and getting bullied as a kid. And, those are things that never stop. As long as you are a person walking this earth, someone's going to be talking about you. And I think in the industry, especially with like people who've been in the industry for like 15, 20 years, it's like at this point in their life, like, what can you really do to them, like other than like you going to jail or something that's going to like really affect them.
It's a fact because I've been in it for exactly 15 years. And I'm at a point now where I'm like, nothing bothers me. And I don't entertain it either. Like, I don't go back and forth with people on social media.
Mm.
I don't entertain that. I just keep it moving because you end up going down this whole ugly rabbit hole and you're putting out your good energy. So it's like, that's good that early on you understand that and you have that mentality because that's what's going to carry you a long way in this business.
Yeah, most definitely. It's just one of those things where you and like you say, like as long as you keep your head on your shoulders and you stay on your path, that's the only way you can really make it, because it's an industry. You're not the only one in here. Like, you are going to have people that are going to try to take advantage of you, who are going to try to, I mean, if some of the biggest legends in this world had issues way back in the 90s, don't think they're not going to be around now. Like, you have people who are trying to scam you over with these record label deals. You got people that are trying to steal from you. And, I tell people all the time, I don't really believe in rap groups no more, because someone's always going to end up being the breakout star of it. And then you have the
Right.
people in the group that's mad and then trying to do something to you. Like, I no, you gotta move with you.
Yes, you got to learn to stand on your own. Definitely, 100%. So we've got this song loaded up. We're going to take a listen to it tonight. But before we get into it, anybody that wants to follow you, I have your IG scrolling across the screen, but go ahead and tell them your Instagram, TikTok, or wherever you're active on social media.
So my Instagram is but let me check. Because I had to change it because someone had the name already. I was like, well, who got my name? But the name is Sir Landon with two N's. But
Okay,
it might pop up Sir Landon Music, like Sir Landon space music.
got it. Most definitely. And your YouTube channel?
It's Sir Landon,
It's
yeah.
Sir Landon. Okay, perfect. Most definitely. Who do you want to give thanks to that's been supporting you through your journey of music?
I want to give thanks to my mom and my sister and a couple of creatives that I know. His name is JJ and her name is Mandy. They're actually a producer and a DJ. I met them like 2 years ago over Twitch. They've been very supportive of like my music dreams. My sister's always like, staying on top of me, and my mom's always like, my mom has not heard any of my music, but she was like, I can help you write your raps, and I'm like, that's okay, but it's okay. But I want to thank all those people. I want to thank my aunt for always being a creative being in my life. A lot of my creativity comes from her, as far as like fashion, all that stuff comes from my aunt. Yeah.
That's so amazing to have your family on board and following you and supporting you through what is truly your passion. That's beautiful. So shout out to your family.
Thank you.
Absolutely. One last question. We're going to check out the song. Where are we at?
Industries most
wanted.
The big one, not the little one, y'all. Let everybody know what makes you, Sir Landon, the industry's most wanted.
I think I'm just so much of a unique character in my real life that I think that's what makes me ready to be in the industry, is that I'm different personality wise. You know, I'm open to being who I used to try to force people to see what was special in me, but you have to see what's special in you. And I started to realize that when I made music. It's like when you get in front of that microphone, all your troubles from your job, all your troubles from your life, it disappears for a quick minute. And that's what makes me different.
That was a great answer. Wow, I love that. So we've got this song loaded up and ready to go. Who is the producer that you worked with on this record? Who made the beat?
I believe his name is, I have him on my phone still. I forgot his name. Let me see. It was under, where is it at? Let me see if I can forget it real quick. Come on, phone, don't act crazy with me.
If you can't find it, it's okay.
I believe his name is it's like QTVD. It's something like that. I'm gonna find it, but he is credited. I have all the producers, every writer, even Lil Kim herself is credited on the song. Like I'm that's one thing I'm very big on, is giving credit where it's due. I'm not one of those people who steals beats and all that stuff. No, every producer, writer, everything that is like from 90s. If you on the song inspired from it, if I inspired from it, it's on the credit list.
I love it. Most definitely. Well, listen, before we get into it, I want to say thank you for being here tonight. This was a beautiful conversation. You dropped some gems tonight. Of course, absolutely. Perhaps one day we'll be able to do this in person.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to fly out to Atlanta, and my mom loves going to Atlanta, but I just got a new position at work, and I'm like there like every single day. Like I had to put this day in off for them because they were like, "Oh, we don't know if we." I said, "No, you're gonna put this request off in right now." Yeah.
No, I understand. You know, maybe sometime in 2026 we can make it happen.
Yes, that most definitely.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and check out the song if you can introduce it for us.
This is How Many Licks? I'm sorry. This is Ghostwriter, parentheses, How Many Licks by Sir Landon.
Let's go.
Let's have some fun, this beat is sick. She wanna come ride on the disco stick. Let's have some fun, this beat is sick. She wanna come ride on the disco stick. Let's have some fun, this beat is sick. She wanna come ride on the disco stick. Let's have some fun, this beat is sick. She wanna come ride on the disco stick.
Who that king nigga, keep the bag filled to the rim. The notorious Sir Landin to the den. Back at it again, and I'm looking for a 10 just to take her home all night, lights on dim. Let's take a trip, triple X where we creepin'. Rooftop, got them city where we sneakin'. Bare skin, fire pit where we sleepin'. Ever since then, hit it off on the weekend.
Yeah, that's a whole vibe, y'all. I'm loving it.
Match with the elevated cap, turn your right to back. And she left her old nigga, made her O2 slow. Now sit back, relax, I switch my flow. I spit hypnotic, I spit erotic, I spit so toxic, I spit that hot shit. You see no profits, I'm lit like rockets. I got them pockets, I got them pockets. Ain't talking no red light, but yes, I stop shit. Ain't talking Dwayne Wade, but yes, I bought shit. Ain't talking no Johnson, but yes, I rocked it. And I'm so damn hot, I had to drop this. Let's go.
on the disco stick. Let's have some fun. This beat is sick. She wanna come by on the disco stick. How many licks does it take till you get to the center of the?
Listen, I love that record. I love the fact that there's so many different elements in the record. Like you switch it up, and I feel like that's what takes a record from being a good record to a phenomenal record. Like you give us different cadences, it speeds up a little bit, kind of slows down. Man, what a beautiful record! You definitely did that with that record. We got to get that one on the charts. We need plaques on your wall. Like for real, for real. What a great record.
Yeah, I tend to make like songs and like I try like I cannot come back to songs. Like I'd be like, if I start it, it's got to get done now because all that energy, all that flowness, it has to get captured right then and there. So I think I came home from work. I'm like, no, I gotta get home right now. I gotta go home right now to do this. Yeah,
Right, because whatever you're feeling in that moment is going to be gone tomorrow.
yeah.
So you have to capture it in that moment. Well, you did a phenomenal job. And again, thank you for being here tonight.